Hey Craft Babe! So today I'm tossing out paint. This is my cart filled with a bunch of pour paints, and I'm tossing all the ones I can find that are the oldest. The labels on each bottle is what's giving me a hint at which ones to get rid of. To go into more details, I've been crafting periodically throughout my 27 years of life. I began with watercolor painting towards the end of high school and took a couple of art courses in college where I was introduced to acrylic painting. I learned about the different bodies of acrylic paints, color theory, texturing, and all those cool details about what it is to be a painter. I mention those details to point out I have paints from so many years ago. I literally have paints that are over 10 years old, and though some of them are still in great condition, I do know that I struggle with letting some things go. I tend to hang on to things for much longer than I need to, and before I tell you more, I'd like to see a comment from you. I know I'm not alone with this, and I'd like to hear your experiences and opinions on letting go, so make sure to leave a comment. Okay, so back to the trash paints. I started paint pouring, I would say about 5 years ago. I seen it on YouTube, and I was intrigued, like, wow, I didn't think of this before. I haven't mastered painting things I see. I haven't drawn very well. I didn't practice much anything that I've learned in art, but I saw videos of paint pouring and fell in love. I can't remember the artist that we're watching off the top of my head, but I'll include either on screen or in the description the channels I first got inspired from. At that time, for practice, I mixed paints with Liquitex and mixed them right before doing my pours. Fast forward, life made dramatic changes. I had another break from crafting and began paint pouring more regularly in late 2020. At the time, I started practicing mixing with additives other than Liquitex to stretch my dollars. I bought this huge container of glue all. I bought Arteza's paints and would mix them with glue and water. They were good for the moment, but once I discovered Floetrol, it was slow for the others. I'll link a video of me mixing Floetrol so you can see how to do that. Also, I will link all products mentioned in this video in the description. That finally brings me to which paints I'm tossing. I'm getting rid of all the paints I mixed with glue, and here's why. They're thick, gooey, and unfixable. I've revamped some of the paints by adding more water or paint, but doing that has ran the risk of cracking. The worst thing that can happen after working on a piece that comes out so beautiful is coming back and it looks nothing like it did when I left it. Glue all already used to give me a hard time with drying because it was almost always guaranteed to crack. So you might be wondering, how long does pour paint last once it's mixed? And honestly, it depends on the medium you're using. Almost all mediums require water, which can make the paint go bad so much sooner. I always use purified water when mixing paints. I never use tap. I believe glue all spoils easiest of the bunch, so if you plan to use it, only mix what you need for the project and use it within 2 weeks. Floetrol is what I like the most. I've had some paints here that were mixed like 2 years ago and they're still useful. I recommend tossing after maybe a year because as time goes by they do start to dry up and cause lumps in the bottle. For Liquitex pouring medium, you don't need to add water, which is what makes it amazing. I would say it could last a year based on the expiration after you open the bottle. I think once opened, most paint-related supplies last between a year or 2. Overall, I'm over keeping so many bottles of paint. I prefer to mix paints for my project and only save what's left towards a project that's coming soon. This is especially because the type of pours I do most often are blowouts, and it's usually a lot of base color and maybe like a streak from the bottles. That's a lot more than I counted for when I first started mixing. I hope this information was useful to you. In fact, if you learned something, leave a like on this video. I really appreciate you being here and look forward to seeing you again. Coming soon, I'll show you how to recycle glass bottles you can use to mix your paints in. See you then.